Welcome again to our YouTube channel. Some scripture narratives are very hard to tell, to be believed. Some narratives from scripture, when they are told, people think this must be crazy. What's happening here? How can we believe what you're telling us? So, one grandfather talked to a grandson and asked the grandson, "What did you learn this last Sunday from Sunday school?" And the grandson was about 10 or 11 years old, told the grandfather, "We have been learning about, or we learned about the Jews who were slaves in Egypt. And the teacher was talking to us about their exodus after they were released by Pharaoh. They were running away from slavery. And the Jews were running after them using chariots. But sometimes it's like, how can you run more than the chariots?" So the grandson continued telling the grandfather how the Jews ran up to the Red Sea. And when they reached the Red Sea, Moses ordered a dozen of boats to help them to cross over to the other side. So Moses had a dozen of boats into which the Jews entered into and crossed over to the other side. And when the Jews came, they did not have any boats. They ran into the water and they were swept away, and the Jews were saved. So the grandfather was like, "What? Did the teacher tell you all that?" The grandson said, "If I told you what the teacher told us, you cannot believe it in a million years." How do you tell your scripture narrative to the young ones? How do you tell your scripture narrative or some story from scripture to the young ones? Don't be too creative.